Hello. So, it is time for week 6 of UBL Season 12 BGC. It's been a rocky start, but we're starting to get this into the swing of things, especially after our transactions. And this week is going to be tough, because we're up against Cannor. Cannor this season kind of been going on a tear, and as a result, we've got to be very careful of them. Their team consisting of Goldengo, Namorous Therian, Staraptor, Slowking, Pyro, Virizion, Rhydon, who's kind of been the MVP, Mousehold, Regidrago, Swampert, and Rookie. So, I recognize that Rhydon is a threat. It's something that they've used well. But I couldn't ignore an Amorous Therian in this matchup. And of course, Dengo Drago is Dengo Drago. Very, very, very scary duo. Mousehold giving great redirection support. Slowking for great Trick Room setting. It's just kind of all there for all of the things to go poorly for us. It's not an easy matchup on paper, and trying to get everything right for this one was rough. So this whole one is going to be post-com though, because I never did a team builder, and the match I played, which by the way, this was a while ago now, but when I played this match, I was actually moving from my old place, and it was in a period in which I didn't have internet at my new place, so I had to go back to my old place with my laptop and none of my setup to go play, like while I still could. It was like the day before, like, I ended up like moving out of my old place, like officially, when like I wasn't allowed to go back there. So it was literally just like an empty room with like the bed and the mattress on it, and like a couple bits I brought with me to try and clean the place up, and that was it. So yeah, bit of a weird one. But I didn't let that deter me going into this match. As for the team, though, it's a very interesting one. I don't remember all the specifics because, again, it was a while ago. So, yeah. Also, if you're wondering about the whole the screen thing, that's because, like, the match has been filled in on the doc, so I don't want to give spoilers. I'll fix it after, sorry, Cannor. So, starting things off, we've got Entei. This is one of the planned leads. Assault Vest Entei is probably one of the best things I can ask for in this matchup. It's probably the only really good one I'm confident in. But it's still iffy. Sacrify Extreme Speed, Snarl, and Stone Edge. Stone Edge hits the Enamorous for a bit more, for more damage, notably. And I think there was something else. Oh, it's Staraptor as well, because we can't be intimidated thanks to Inner Focus. We're not worrying about speed though, we're just going bulk. I'm like almost positive this was to take like Specs Dragon Energy from Regidrago. Like almost positive. So yeah. I don't think it was like Specs Terra Dragon. I think it was like Scarf Terra Dragon, just in case they were faster, because if they were going to try and outspeed Entei, they'd have to be Scarf, so, like, max speed Entei, that is. Otherwise, the offense lets us just do good damage. I'm pretty sure Sacred Fire is going to be going offensive Goldengo. I don't think it gets bulky. Extreme Speed is nice to pick off things, of course, as well as weaken and Dragon Energy, and then Snarl to reduce the special attack of those scary spread attack like demons. But this is not the only thing we are leading with. of course, because it's VGC. But we're leading with something that I was like, this feels like the only chance I've got to deal with this terrifying duo. And that is a Sash Chestnut. So we're max speed, max attack animate here. A very strange one. But it does make sense when you think about it. High horsepower, seed bomb, close combat, and wide guard. Wide guard kind of lets us play around, and also, you know, force them to, you know, respect Chestnut a bit. Be like, hey, I have wide guard, please actually don't, you know, completely murder me. So, yeah. It's good into some things as well. Obviously, it's like the seed bombs mostly for Swampert. And Slowking as well, both of them do take a lot of damage. Close combat hits a good amount of things on their team for a lot of damage. Like the Rhydon, which I am definitely worried about, which is also good for, that's also something for Seed Bomb. Close combat just does good damage. We've got the Terra Ground to have that high horsepower do more damage. But also just tearing out of a type that isn't weak to Staraptor is really nice as well. Wide Guard can be used. It depends what they lead with. But yeah, I like going into this, I was like, I really feel comfortable going with this offensive Chestnut. Because I really don't expect them to bring the Staraptor. And even if they do, I don't expect them to bring Intimidate. Like, I've got like my Mienshao and my Entei, like, and like the most likely physically offensive one that I'm bringing is Treads. And Chestnut would be more for support than for offense in theory, but this way we're going with a bit more of an offensive build. So, as for kind of mons in the back, I did mention Iron Treads. The booster speed here means we outspeed everything, which is great. We even get like Scarf Goldengo, Scarf Drago. I think we even get Scarf Staraptor with this much speed. And then the little bit of bulk, I'm pretty sure, is to at least take one like Dragon Energy, which is really nice. Terra Dark. Ooh, why was it Terra Dark? Oh, to resist the Shadow Ball from Goldengo, that's why. High horsepower, Ice Spin, knockoff, and protect. I believe knockoff with the Terra Dark Oko's Goldengo. Like, I think bulky Goldengo. No, I don't think it even gets bulky Goldengo, but like Terra Dark knockoff gets Goldengo, like offensive Goldengo. High horsepower can get it, but I'm also afraid of it being like balloon. So that's something to worry about as well. Especially if this is going to be like one of the faster things. Ice Spinner hits both the Enamorous and the Drago, and potentially Rhydon as well, but we have the high horsepower for that. The High Roar as well. Ice Spinner for just good coverage. Ice Spinner for Virizion was what I was going to say. Just good coverage all around and try and do good damage. Weakening their initial lead and try and use the rest of our Pokemon late game. Next up, Enamorous. We're not bringing Tailwind on it because I want all this coverage. Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, Protect. Because we can't run the Sash on it because of, you know, Chestnut having it, we've got the Berry on it to take less, you know, resist the Make It Rain coming our way. It would feel a bit weird if I wasn't bringing an Enamorous to at least threaten the Drago. But otherwise, like, other than Goldengo, Fairy is like a pretty spammable type against their team. Moonblast for the big damage, Dazzling Gleam to play around the redirection from Mousehold, and then Earth Power for the Goldengo. You know, hopefully it's not a balloon. We are speed tying our Treads, but Treads will be booster speeding, so it doesn't really matter. And I think the little bit of speed F actually is to help guarantee that we live a Make It Rain. So I don't remember what Make It Rain, because this was a while ago. My guess is like just Modest Max, because that mon's a demon. So yeah. But we're also bringing the option to play in Trick Room. maybe a backdoor Trick Room, or just using some of our other pieces, like Entei, because it's kind of bulky. We've got Mesprit here. Mystical Power, Thunderbolt, Trick Room, and Protect. Max HP, max special attack. This is kind of more of our offensive Trick Room setup. With the Terra Poison, because if we're Terra Poison, then we're still immune to ground, and still able to take on Rhydon relatively well. The Thunderbolt is to threaten the Enamorus a bit more, because like I'm scared of Enamorus like setting up and just kind of ruining me. But the Mystical Powers, once we're kind of getting going with them, I think can do really, really well here. Thunderbolt's also really nice to hit Slowking, because if they do set up Trick Room themselves, it's going to be with the Slowking. So getting good damage into that is really nice, because otherwise, if I run like Ice Beam, I can't really hit it. So nothing too crazy with Mesprit. Lefties to kind of keep it alive for a little bit longer. And last but not least, Spiritomb, which I didn't nickname in here, but I did nickname it when we get into the battle, I believe. Because I did end up bringing this to at least one game. Well, I don't remember the nickname. Off the top of my head, I could, go watch, but, I'm like 10 minutes into this team builder. Probably longer. Terra Steel, Citrus Berry, Spiritomb. We've got Infiltrator because it helps with screens and it's better than Pressure. Shadow Ball, Terra Blast, Trick Room, and Protect. This is more of a Spadef one, 172 in Spadef, max HP, and then the 84 in special attack. This will help take on, like, Enamorus Therian a lot better with the Terra Steel. Otherwise, Shadow Ball's pretty decent damage, and kind of gives us more of a defensive piece in Trick Room, which is really nice. It just can't really afford to run any other moves, is the only issue, but I think this can do well if I want to lean more into Trick Room. Especially because it's slower than pretty much everything they have, which is really nice. As for the battle itself, we see the Django Drago, we see the Mousehold, we see no TR stuff. We see Virizion, I'm like, there's no way they bring Virizion, right? Because, like, they've been complaining all season that Virizion's kind of ass. And I'm like, there's Star Raptor as well, which I was a little surprised to see, but I was like, like, I don't think it'll be that good here. But, yeah, and the Rhydon, which I kind of expected. Like, 4 of the 6 I definitely expected, and then Virizion and Star Raptor were kind of, like, a bit more wildcardy. So, but for me, I'm leading with my, like, dedicated lead of Entei plus Chestnut, and then I've got Iron Treads and Mesprit in the back. Just because I don't want to... I want to see what Pokemon they want to bring first before I start bringing Enamorus. And I'll just go with a safe, bulky Mesprit, and maybe set up Trick Room in case they go with, like, a Tailwind setup. So they actually lead Mousehold Virizion, and it's like, okay, so this is beat up. I do not have a stop to beat up. Yeah. So I'm just like, well, pray? Praying sounds like a good idea. I do at least have the Sash on the Chestnut, so if they go for that for whatever reason, then, that's great. But I think Entei can live a CC. So we go for it, they go for the beat up stuff. +1, +2. I'd skip turn, but it spoils what happens in the turn. Woo! And they missed Stone Edge on Entei. But then I missed the Sacred Fire. And then I CC and killed the Mousehold, which means it wasn't Sash, which was very interesting. So, yeah, that was a turn. It was a turn of all time where we both missed. Unfortunately, I'm still terrified of this Virizion, because it can ruin me. So, and I don't have Protect either. So, I've kind of got to play a bit more careful. Of course, there's also this really Drago on the field now applying pressure as well, which is also terrifying. So, yeah. They go for the Terrify. I just try and extreme speed it to get some chip. If they go for Dragon Pulse, trying to play around Wide Guard. And I die to a Stone Edge while I CC the the Drago just to prevent further further dragon energies from doing more damage to me. So thankfully living because of the stash and they didn't double up onto me, which is very nice. I just needed that chip as well because I believe that my Iron Treads didn't kill it with high horsepower before, but now gets to. And of course I'm revealing the boost of speed, which means this Virizion is now in danger. As a result, I choose to ignore it and go for the Regidrago, calling with the Protect and just seeing what damage I can do with Rhydon here. Not Rhydon, Chestnut. Thankfully, with this booster speed and the Protect called now, we're able to go for the high horsepower into that slot, and then just go for Seed Bomb to not quite take out the Rhydon. So they do get to take me down to 90, and not take me down to 5%, and then Chestnut living on the 1. So they don't get to see my final Pokemon, but I do believe it is Mesprit in this game 1. So yeah, not what I expected at all, and obviously with the Cappy Pasta. Yeah. So very fortunate game 1. Because if that Stone Edge hits, then it would have been a very different game. But going into game 2, I'm like, how do I deal with this? I'm like, I feel like I have to force it to Terror, maybe? Maybe leading with Treads is a little bit better, so I'm going to try that. And they just choose to lead Staraptor, who has Intimidate and ruins me. Because these are both physical attackers, they get ruined by Intimidate. And I'm just like, well, Chestnut's in a bad spot. I'll stay with Treads because it's still got the boost of speed on it and can do decent damage. So I switch out into Mesprit, just as a bulky piece. Because I go for knockoff into the Mousehold, who reveals the Covert Cloak. They do miss a dual wing beat there, and, you know, that's like another miss. So, yeah, I knock off the Staraptor now, and then I'm going for Trick Room here, in which that reveals that the dual wing beat 100% mattered. So, yeah, I guess I find out some items. I'm just doing what I can with this Treads while its boost to speed is still useful, because once Trick Room goes up, obviously it's not. So I'm going to switch out into Entei, because that's my only other bulky piece I'm bringing this match. Because I was intending to use this as a backdoor Trick Room, but kind of need the Trick Room now. So despite that, they've still got a ton of healthy pieces. Chestnut is still slow enough that it can be used in Trick Room, which is nice against like some of these really, really fast pieces. But for pivoting in, I definitely want to keep my Sash intact if possible. They switch out into Rhydon as they go for Baby Doll Eyes, which still does affect it. And then Lightning Rod into the Rhydon. Obviously, I was going for Staraptor there. They get the Sacred Fire chip onto the Mousehold. But now it's Rhydon's in, and it's kind of a pain. So, yeah. I'm going to go into Treads as they continue to Baby Doll Eyes. They miss a Stone Edge, which granted that would have done about like 2, because it's Treads. But it still sucks. And I am able to take out the Mousehold. And apparently they misclicked, which is, you know, fair enough. I decided to go back into Entei here, because I'm like, I think I can live the high horsepower coming my way. And this duo, by the way, really annoying, because I had to run Thunderbolt over Ice Beam, I can't really hurt this Staraptor as much as I want to, because of the stupid Lightning Rod. Because I had to run Thunderbolt because I couldn't hit the Slowking otherwise. So, Entei comes in, we dodge another Stone Edge as we do some good chip, and then they set up the Tailwind on the last turn of Trick Room. So, they've now missed, I think it's 3 Stone Edges and a Mystical, and a Dual Wing Beam. Yeah. even I say this game sucks. However, they get the call right here. I managed to take out my Entei with the combination of dual wing beat and high horsepower as I take out their Staraptor. And in comes Drago. And I'm like, crud? That's a Drago. In Tailwind. Which makes me sad. They end up going for the Terra Poison Dragon Energy, which makes a lot of sense, as I try and Ice Spinner it just to do any sort of chip. And then High Horsepower comes out into the Donphan, into the Treads. And really, there's not a lot I can do at this point. Like, I don't even know what the right play there was. So, yeah, like, maybe Protect. Try and stall out the Tailwind, but, like... yeah. And they just go for Dragon Energy and High Horsepower to take me out, because going for Wide Guard doesn't do anything, so I'm not doing any damage. So... yeah, like... despite them missing all those times... I still managed to lose. And I honestly think I just turned my brain off. I was like, okay, yeah, the game's done. The game, like, after I don't remember which Stone Edge miss. But after one of the Stone Edge misses, I was just like, yeah, no, I've already won this game. I can just turn my brain off. And they locked it. And they played it really, really well. And I was like, great, now I have to play a game 3 in which I was expecting this to be over. Because they had such bad luck. So, yeah. I just completely turned my brain off and didn't really think about what I was doing. So, game 3, trying to lock in a little bit more. I'm still just, because I think it's Scarf Drago, I need to be going for more Trick Room-y stuff. So, they lead with their fast stuff, and I am going to be leading with Spiritomb instead of any of my other physical attackers that I've been trying to use. So, still have to, make sure I'm ready for a Drago or a Dango lead. But they double out into Rhydon immediately as I go straight into Mesprit. They dual Wing Beat, just trying to see if I'm going to be greedy, which I'm not, and I'm going to immediately set up Trick Room. Obviously, this Rhydon's in, but I do have Terra Steel, Terra Blast for it if I need it, as well as Mesprit's Terra Poison to, just be nice and defensive, and do good damage into it as well, also threatening some of the other pieces that are going to be faster in this matchup. However, they make a great Protect here, as I try and double into the Rhydon, and just get some more damage onto my Mesprit for free, and stall out a turn of this Trick Room. Now, though, they switch out into the Mouse Hold as they go for my Terra Steel, trying to, protect my Mesprit as much as possible. But obviously now means I'm much, much weaker. I expected that to do way more, and I thought it was going to do 50%. It did not. It did nothing. So, that's an issue, as well as Mouse Hold being in, going for the redirection now as well. So, I decided to Protect because I need to protect my my Spiritomb here, and go for Mystical Power, trying to get the damage in, but of course, the Mouse Hold is protecting the Rhydon, which is a pain. So, I've still got a boost, so I come into Treads because I'm like, okay, it's the last turn of Trick Room, I can bring in Treads, try and outspeed and take out this Mouse Hold, and then maybe we can go from there, because the last time I saw that I lived. So I Protect to stall out the last turn, just in case they want to go for it. But this time I die. They get a roll in their favor this time. So that was super unfortunate. But in fairness, looking at the first 2 games, they deserved it. So I'm not going to be upset about it. Obviously I was at the time, but realistically, it was only minor. Because I was just like, well, I guess I lose now. So... Granted, I've still got some options here, like, I've still got some bulky pieces. Well, bulky is in, like, I've got a Sash. So, they just double out into... Well, they go into Staraptor for the Intimidate and protect the Rhydon. I try and CC to take out the Mouse Hold, of course, and then Mystical Power trying to take out this Rhydon. They've done a really good job protecting this Rhydon, and saving it for the late game. I don't want to let this this thing go down just yet, though. Chestnut, because it's in danger, and I would like it. Because if they're bringing the same mons as last time, then they're bringing Drago, and I need to be able to at least threaten Wide God. So, double out. So, they go into Maushold, I go into Spiritomb. They dual wing me, do no damage, really. 20%. Because I go for the Mystical Power, and I pick up the KO on the Staraptor. However, that allows Drago to come in with a Maushold setup, and I don't have Wide God access, which means I'm in danger. Granted, I have the Terra Steel, but that's not going to save me for too long. So they go for the Dragon Energy and follow me. I take 33% and still get to recover back, and still am able to set up Trick Room, which is still beneficial to me, even though Tailwind is not up. So there's like maybe a world, but the Maushold's just too bulky. Especially because they go for the Terra Dark here, which was a very good play. Because I try and Mystical Power it, it doesn't die, and now I'm in trouble because I don't even have my offensive mass, bro. I've got Chestnut in, and that's kind of it. So, they double out into Rhydon, trying to save it for post-Trick Room, as they just go for a Baby Doll Eyes into Chestnut. And I think if I call that turn right, and instead of going for close combat, go for the Seed Bomb there, and have to call it, I do win this game. This game was not out of the question auto lose, and as a result, I think I could have played this to win. So they take out Spiritomb here, and then because of their Rhydon being slower, there's nothing I can really do. They end up winning this game 2-1, which, I mean, they played it so well. They played the second two games immaculately, despite all the hacks. And I can't really say much but GG's for that. Like, I wish we had a cleaner set, because on one hand, obviously, the hack sucks on their hand on the mental, but it also made me lax up in that game too. Because I was just like, well, I guess I've won. And then this game 3, they locked the fuck in. They were in. So, yeah. I really can't say much but GG's. At this point, we are 3-3. So, making playoffs is very dicey. So, yeah. We've got to lock in for our last few, because if we don't lock in, there's a good chance that we just don't make playoffs for the first season of UBL. I think ever, other than I guess season 4, but I didn't end up even playing much of that season. I dropped after like 3 or 4 weeks, so I don't know if that counts. But if it doesn't, then this will be the first one where I finish the full season and don't make playoffs. So we gotta lock in. Week 7 we get a bye, but then after that, you know, technically we'll be 4-3, but it'll be 3-3 still. We need to win our last 2 to make it. So, yeah, wish us luck. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.